just felt bad. It was like I was like,
Singer, dancer, actor, just to name a few qualities and talents that he has. He may be best known as Blaine on Glee, where he blew audiences away with his versions of pop ballads like Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. But during his time on the show, and since it ended, he's also been a Broadway staple, appearing in hits like How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying and Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Now this weekend, he is performing a series of Broadway favorites, accompanied by the National Symphony Orchestra, during a special show at the Kennedy Center called Broadway Today. Before he does that, though, Darren Criss joins us live in the loft, along with Stephen Reinecke, who is the principal pop conductor of the NSO. It is a pleasure to meet you, Darren.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Stephen, it is great to see my fellow Cincinnati brother again.
I love it.
Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, exactly. Two Buckeyes. So let's talk about...
I should get out of here.
Brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Lord.
So let's talk about, first of all, the concert tonight. What's going to happen?
Well, I'm just as curious as anybody coming to the show. This is not normal fare for guys like me, even though I've done Broadway and I'm a Broadway fan. I don't typically do like Broadway concerts, but this is a cool in-between because we are doing kind of contemporary Broadway tunes, so some songs people will be familiar with, some not so much, but hopefully this will be a great opportunity to illuminate these songs for them. How big is the orchestra? I mean, it's like 75, 80.
They're fairly large, the National Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, well, for people at home that aren't familiar, I mean, that is such an extraordinary opportunity to both hear and also as a performer to be singing with. So it really just gives these songs such a huge amount of meat. But it's contemporary composers like Jason Robert Brown, Stephen Schwartz, Flair Aarons, some names that people might not be familiar with, but I think they also might hear songs and go, oh, yeah, of course, I definitely know that tune.
It's a lot of fun for the Broadway fans because when you see stuff on Broadway, you have a small pit orchestra. Right. And this is a chance we get to flesh all this out for a 75, 80-piece orchestra and hear these tunes in a different way, and they're out of context of the show, just a concert setting. And as Darren mentioned, it's a lot of fun stuff. We go back as far as 1970 with Stephen Sondheim's company, and then quickly get up to music of today, including music from Rent, from the musical Once, from the Book of Mormon, even. We had to find something clean enough that we could do.
Which was tough.
It's tough.
From the Book of Mormon.
We make it.
Yeah. So, for you, this is something you do a lot. You reimagine a lot of things. Obviously, you got a lot of press when you did the concert with Kendrick Lamar. And
so cool.
Right? So awesome. So when you're doing these, is it mostly you that's coming up with the framework and then cluing you in, or how much do you work together?
Well, there's a lot of working together, and each concert's a little different. I mean, I have a team of people in Washington at the Kennedy Center that I work with on most things. This program, the Broadway program in particular, though, this was one of my ideas and something that we're going to do this in 2 weeks in New York at Carnegie Hall and 2 weeks after that up in Toronto. So we're kind of doing 3 different cities. This was one of my babies that I came up with. There's also a female singer, Betsy.
I was going to say, we got to give some love to Betsy Wolf.
Yeah. Where is Betsy? Why isn't she in here this
Betsy's
morning?
on her way in
She's
from
getting
New
her
York.
beauty rest and making sure her voice is going to be
She's awesome.
flawless.
She's a great Broadway star. So it's Darren and Betsy. And once we got all the pieces of the puzzle together, having the right personnel, we all talked about what songs we want to do. And I had a big set list put together, and then Betsy and Darren both said, I don't really want to do that, but I want to do this.
Yeah, she was really cool with letting us kind of make sure we can showcase that which we are a little better at, because there were things where I'm like, Stephen, I can't sing this. This is not going to be cool.
Oh, come on, Darren, you can sing everything.
That's sweet of you. That's not true, though. So it's really fun and exciting and new for you and me. So I think both, audience, this is the kind of show I'd want to go see because I just love all this music. So I'm so pumped for this.
Well, obviously here at Fox, we know and love you from Glee.
That's right, we got the Fox family.
That's right, that's right. And he did tell me he performed at Rupert Murdoch's Christmas party.
That was a wild, fun time, yeah. Good old Rupert.
Yeah. He'll tell us more in the commercial break, because I would like to keep my job. But Glee was such a special show. There wasn't anything really like it before, and it laid a lot of groundwork.
Yeah, I was part of something that was much bigger than myself, and it was also such a huge hit before I was on it, so I had this very objective relationship with the whole experience, just going, wow, like, I'm on Glee. That's very strange. Yeah, I've heard the term post-Glee, like, now that we're making shows in a post-Glee world. And I don't know what that means. That there's a lot of implications, but for the most part, I think they're pretty positive. And yeah, Yeah, I'm really proud to have been a part of that, man. I mean, for a number of reasons, for music, for the sort of socio-political sphere.
The storyline alone, which someone did ask me, what do you think like Kurt and Blaine would be doing right now since Glee's off the air?
Probably sleeping in, being a boring old married couple. Yeah.
But being happy.
But being happy, yes, that's
happy.
of course. But that is the definition of being happy, right? Sleeping in, old married couple. That sounds pretty rad to me.
So, you know, you did TV, but you've been doing a lot, obviously, on Broadway. Would you say Broadway's your first love?
Yeah, I think theater's my first love. Interestingly enough, people assume that I kind of come from this Broadway background. I was never really a big legit Broadway singer. I have more of like a rock and roll pop kind of voice, which has helped me because it brings a different flavor to, I think, a lot of these songs that we're doing this weekend. So it's been fun for me to kind of put on that superhero costume of, I guess I'm going to do Broadway now. But
you know what? It kind of Broadway's going in new and different directions. I mean, the hottest musical right now is Hamilton.
Yeah.
Have my tickets in April.
Yeah, it's great.
I know.
That's soon.
I know. I've been counting down the days. I've had them for a half a year,
sure,
right? Because it took that long to get them. But do you think that theater needs to change?
Well, theater is always changing. I mean, people forget that pop music always ends up saving musical theater one way or another, whether we like it or not. It's always important. You know, with any classic art form, like, it does need a constant revitalization every decade. So Hamilton would be a great example of that. But it's no different than in the 70s and the 60s having pop music and even disco creeping its way into the popular zeitgeist. It's important, even though I'm an old-fashioned guy. Sometimes I see this stuff where I go, I don't know if I like this, but if there's somebody 10 years younger than me that goes and sees something and says, you know what, I love this, then I go, okay, well, then that's important. That's important to recognize.
We only have 30 seconds. I have a question for you both. Your favorite musical of all time, or if you could star in any musical, what would it be?
Cabaret has always been one of my favorites. That's one of my favorite shows of all time, for sure.
And for you, if you could reimagine another concert with the NSO Pops with any musical star out there, who would it be?
Well, you know, I've got two of them. One that I'm just dying to work with is Adele.
Oh, yeah,
of
course.
I mean, of course, Adele's music would be perfect. And I happen to be a huge fan of Dolly Parton. And at this point, I just want to do a retrospective of her life.
And I just want to go to that show.
I know.
Have a great old time.
And I just want to be in the audience with you and sing.
We'll have a sing-along.
Stumble out of bed and a stumble to the kitchen.
Perfect.
Exactly.
I'll take my Hedwig wig and I'll just
There you go. There you go. This has been such a pleasure. The concert's tonight?
No, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, so I can sleep tonight, stay up late tomorrow.
Friday, Saturday, 8 o'clock, Kennedy Center.
And in 2 weeks in New York.
Yep.
All right. Y'all are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Really appreciate your time and talent. And I do have some Skyline at my house if you ever want to share. All right.